Hey all, what's up? How's it going? Pretty good here. Well, let's see. A couple days ago, I think it was yesterday, actually, today's Friday. I was invited onto a show about Mandela Effect, and I actually liked it. It was fun. His name was Brian MacFarlane. Cool guy, and the guests were really good too. They had some great stories and theories and WTF moments. It was fun to listen to. Because you know that everybody is affected differently by it. But some of the stories they had, wow, that's uploaded now, so you can go look at it. It's a good idea though, because there's no telling what you may learn from it. You know, I think so. Really did enjoy it though. It's only the second one I've done, different topics. Last first one was like 2 years ago or so, but I was a little nervous. But then I got into it, and it was actually fun talking to them all. So go check it out, Brian McFarlane. Hope I pronounced that right. Yeah. Well, let's see. What is on my mind tonight? I think one thing has been on my mind last 2 nights were, at least I'm pretty sure it was, so much things in my brain that I have to write everything down. So, I think I would like to talk about people who just woke up, who awaken, however you like to say it. And I know you're probably freaking out because the veil's been lifted and you can't understand why yesterday you saw it this way and today now it's completely different. Just the first thing you want to do is breathe. Actually, take a lot of breath. Just breathe, then stand somewhere and just relax and breathe because it'll be fine. After a while, I mean, it will still be fine once you get used to everything. Okay, it may take a little while for you to get used to. I mean, once you get used to it though, then you're going to be fine. It's just going to take a little while because you'll be looking at stuff going, that's not spelled right. I don't remember it spelled that way. You know, it happens. I mean, you're gonna see a bunch of different things right off the bat if you start doing your research, and after probably a good 2 or 3 videos, you're just gonna turn your laptop off or slam the cover down or just walk away because you're not sure what's going on. And I can't really give you an explanation of what is going on. All we have is things that we think, and we have theories, and nothing. We don't have any proof to what's going on. We can do a bunch of finger pointing if you want, but the first thing you really need to do is just breathe and get some water. All right, because it may take a couple days for you to relax, but then you will, and it'll be a little bit better, but not very much. You will get used to it though. It may take months and months, but you'll be fine. But there's probably questions that you're probably asking, like, what the hell just happened? And that is the one question everybody's asking. So, and no one can tell you the answer to that. Not one single person. No matter who you ask, you're gonna get 100 different ways, and then you're sitting there still wondering, what the hell am I gonna do now? I don't know. We don't have answers for that either. You do what most people do. You can hit the internet, read everything you can about it, and then watch every video you can find. And like I said, you're gonna have 100, 200, 300 different answers. But then there's that one answer you're looking for, and I don't know, you're not. You want the truth? I'm not gonna lie to you. You're not gonna find the answer you're looking for. You're gonna find answers you will accept that will hold you for a while until you find the next answer that you're really looking for. I have no reason to lie to you. People with our memories, there's no way to explain why we have them. There isn't. People can say, "Oh, you were brainwashed," or "Someone had planted memories in you." But you're sitting there going, "I have these memories for a reason because I lived through them." That's what I tell myself. And after a while, you won't know what to believe. You just won't. Because you're going to have a bunch of theories in this hand, and what you think is in this hand, and they're just going to, you know? Basically, the best thing you can do is just find the answers that will hold you over until you find the next answer that will hold you over. That's about what any of us can do. Because you'll have people who are die-hard theorists and they will tell you, this is how it happened, this is the way it is. And then you can be able to tell that they really mean what they're saying. But it'll get harder before it gets easier. Nothing. Because you're sitting there going, this could never happen. This can't happen. This is not a freaking movie. It's not a book. This can't happen. Guess what? I wish I could play the Twilight Zone theme, but yeah. That's basically what's been going through my head for the last year and a half. And you hear it a lot in your head playing. But you will never find the $1 million answer, let's call it, because I don't know. You can blame CERN. You can blame the D-Wave computer. You can blame the higher power up there if you want to. Whatever makes you feel better and get through your days. Because pretty soon you get to the point where you care, but you don't care, but you do care. But you're not gonna let it. What's a good word for it? Bog you down, I guess you want to say, because you're still gonna do research, but you still have a life to live and pay your bills and stuff. So yeah, yeah, you're probably worrying a lot, but you know what? There's not a lot you can really do at all. You can dig for all the information you want. Keep all that information. And you're probably going to want to run out and tell somebody. Let's see what happens when that happens, because first thing you're going to hear is, "Oh, you're just crazy, you're a lunatic, you have no idea what you're talking about." And then you have the ones who take it in one ear and blow out the other ear, and they're not going to care. Not really. You're like, "Oh, well, that's different. Okay." And then you're gonna have the ones just tell you, "Oh, your memory's just messed up. It's fake. Never happened." You're gonna have a bunch of people telling you a bunch of things, basically. It all depends on what you do. What's your next step after you do all that research? and then you calm down just a little bit, and you figure out what should you do next, and how long will it take you to accept it or deny that it's happening, you know? I'm not gonna sit here and say it's gonna be alright though. Anything could happen when you get. That's the most problem with this is knowing what word is the right word to use. Everybody uses different words, you know. So let's call it when you wake up. You will start to see changes in yourself and in others. But here's my advice to you about that section right there. Look at yourself before you look at everybody else. Everybody is always looking out at all the differences. Let's call it differences, okay? Not changes. The differences in this reality or timeline, whichever word you're more comfortable with, alright? Look at yourself before you look at everybody else because you shifted, let's call it shifted, into another reality timeline, if that's what you want to call it, and you will change. Your perspective on things will change. Okay? You won't notice it at first, but after maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month, you'll notice little things about you that are could be the way you act, things you like, things you dislike, but you may change. I hate to say it. So far, everybody, when I first, 6 months after I woke up, I told a few of my friends, and when they did their research and stuff, and they changed. I'm not saying it's a dramatic change. It's just slight. More than the hair, but you will notice it. Your friends will probably notice it, but it will happen. That's another thing you're going to have to accept. It's like you come from A, you shift to B. You on this line won't be exactly like you were on this line. So, as before, I've gone through before, you will be different because the two yous are merging. So your likes over here and your likes over here could have been different. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying it could happen. It has happened to people I've ran across. Okie dokie. So you pass that point, you start noticing changes and stuff. There's one thing that I want you to know off the bat. Should have told you this before, but I'm gonna tell you now. It's the only way I know how to explain it. Okay, so use the words that you would use in your head, but let's take my advice if you want. If you don't, that's fine. Do not argue, okay, with people who already existed on this timeline. Those are basically the ones whose memories have not, let's say, can't say. They're the ones whose memories go along with this timeline reality, whatever you want to call it. The ones that say, no, there was 6 people in JFK's car, and you do spell fruit, F-R-O-T, which sounds like fraught. Hate that word, fraught. Fraught loops. I'm gonna go to the store and buy me some fraught loops. That's what it looks like to me, fraught. Because if it was fruit, wouldn't it be F-R-U-U-T? Okay, I'm not gonna get into it again, but that's just one thing that just breathe. So, do not argue with people from this timeline because they are right And you're right. I know you both can be right, but they don't argue with them. Don't try arguing with them. You can, if you have a friend who was actually exists in this timeline, then you can debate it because you guys just debating and talking. But somebody else who just steps up and says blah blah blah, don't argue with them. It's pointless. You're not gonna win, and they won't win either because you are stuck to your ideas and they're stuck to theirs. So it's basically pointless. The non-believers, I don't know if you really want to call them that because I don't know. Oh, so you're you do research, you're getting used to yourself changing. Like I said, you won't change dramatically, but your personality will. It's basically I think it comes down to your likes and dislikes. That probably changed a little bit, but with mine sure have a little bit, but not enough. Like it's just like little things. Like okay, all right. Now after you do that, then you can look out if you want. I know I'm doing a research part, and I know you're looking at stuff is different, but it's different after you looked at yourself. After you look out, you probably will understand more why there are differences, you know? But the one thing you can't do is get mad about it. Now, control freaks will probably get mad about it because they will have no control in the slightest, not even that much. They will probably be the worst ones that will freak out and not be able to handle it because they would have no control over what happened at all. I don't even think I know any control freaks, but I'm glad I don't because they probably drive me nuts. So, just after you calm down, it could be weeks, it could be months, but after you do, when you processed everything, relax and breathe some more. Because it's probably not over. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say, hey, that one time that happened, it won't happen again, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say, you can be calm, cool, and collected and still wait for if it will happen again, because it probably will. I am not lying. But there's one thing I want you to focus on. One thing I've noticed is when you shift, it's it was what way was happening with me was every I think I shifted at least 3 times. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was. But every time I shifted, it was like a reawakening, you could call it, because it seems like I became more awake every time you shift. I don't know if that happened to everybody. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you. But I have not heard anybody else saying after they shift, they became more awoke. I guess you want to say it. They reawoke again because, like, I know I was awake, but it was like when it happened again, things seemed to be a lot more detailed. You could see stuff a lot better. And then the third time it happened, and it seemed like I was waking up again, and things were more detailed. So it's like you can tell when the shifts happens because it feels like you're being re reawakening again. The one thing I hate is I get motion sickness, and that sucks because it feels like your stomach is in a vice and it's going. So that doesn't feel good at all. The last time I did was the worst. The feeling lasted for about a week. Not saying that would happen. I'm just saying that happened to me. So it's all good. Just after you go through all that, just be careful. And I know you're gonna want to wake other people up. Everybody does. Gotta wake somebody else. Want them to know what's going on. That's totally up to you. You can do that. You're gonna have your friend. Some of your friends will call you crazy. The other half may listen. They may tell your parents. They may listen. They may not. But you will see people differently. You will see the difference in them, your friends and your family. Before you do anything drastic, take a couple months and get to know them all over again, if that's what it takes. Give it time to get to know them. You will still see the differences, but just give it time. And if you're married, give it some time. Really get to know them. Don't just do something drastic. I'm not sure. My kids really aren't that different in the shifts. So I think they're too young. It probably affects them, but not enough to actually really be seen, you know? So it's just about patience, being careful, and keeping your head on a swivel. Get your gun civil, whatever you call it. Keep your head turning, because you go on a. Cause it's going to happen when you're not watching it. The one thing I would hate, two things I hate, and one I really hate, if it would happen when I'm driving. That's the only time I'm a little, I wouldn't say paranoid, but enough to. If I start feeling a little weird stuff, I usually pull over just to make sure, but it doesn't happen very often at all. And I really hate fogs. Not the one where they're spread out everywhere and you keep driving down. I really hate the pocket of fogs. Because every time I see one, I'm thinking, ah, crap. But luckily, nothing's happened when I drove through them. It's just, I don't know why. Every time I see a fog like that, it's just something in my head goes, be careful. I don't know why. It's just, be careful. And so I I don't slow down if I'm going speeding. I don't really slow down, but my I keep an eye on everything that's around me. So I'm hoping this helps the new people who wake up. If you have any questions, put them down there, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can with stuff that I went through, theories that I have, and anybody else who wants to leave a comment and try and answer the questions the best you can. That's fine. But just relax and breathe. Sometimes it'll be hard. Sometimes it won't be. But once you get over the initial shock and then not believing it's happening and get to, okay, I can handle this, just go on with life, then you'll be fine. just just take it one day at a time. And buy a notepad and keep notes if you want about things that happen to you, glitches, things that look different, whatever you want to take notes about. So you can go back later and look at it and go, yeah, that's really different. But I think that's about everything. And again, go watch the podcast by with us and Brian MacFarlane. Brian's pretty cool. The group was really good. I mean, actually, the stories they had were awesome. It's a great group of people. But I'll put a link down there for that too, just so you can go watch it. It's kind of long, but it's well worth it. If you have to, off and on, you can watch it and watch the whole thing. But if I was you, I would take the time to watch it. It gives you a chance to learn what other people are going through. And it may help you a little bit or a lot. Plus, you will learn stuff that you didn't know probably. So, I think that's about it. And have a great night or day or evening, wherever, whatever you're doing. And stay safe. And I enjoy talking to you all. Thanks a lot for watching my videos. And take care. I'll see you later.